Arsenal 3-0 over Coventry City in the opening match of the Premier League season. What a performance we've just seen at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal just bossed that game. Very comfortable throughout. Goals to Havertz, Saka, and then Odegaard. This is a post-match reaction recorded just minutes after the final whistle. Let's just get into it all. This is the Real Arsenal Deal podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Real Arsenal Deal. This is Rav here, your host. How is everyone this morning? Or it might even be nighttime still, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. It is just after 7 a.m. here, Saturday morning. Quite chilly here in Melbourne, Australia. As I record this, I wanted to get something done, wanted to publish something before heading off to kids' sports this morning. It's going to be a lovely Saturday ahead. Life is just good. Life is better when Arsenal win. And now we can just sit back and just cruise through the entire weekend knowing that Arsenal have got the job done. 3 points on the board, a +3 goal difference as well, just quietly doing those sorts of things. Clean sheet. It was a pretty resounding performance. So I've got a few things to talk about, a few thoughts that spring to mind. I'll talk about individual players, selection, performances. One thing I just wanted to note, just right off the bat, it's something that struck me as soon as I saw the lineup named. I woke up around 4:45 a.m. this morning. My whole routine was set. Everything was flawless, seamless. My headphones are ready, iPad ready. Log in to watch the game, and I see the team sheet, and there's no Martinelli. And for me, I think that's telling you something. I think there may be an imminent deal or some kind of transfer arrangement that may come out in the coming days and may be finalised during the week. Just my thoughts on that. I won't spend too much time talking about it because I've spoken about that in recent podcasts. Just about just the way this has gone about, and us. Are we doing the right thing the way we conducting ourselves? But that just made me a little bit sad, right? It does look like Martinelli's on the outs, and I was paying close attention to selection in the second half as well. It was very telling that Eze came on in place of Tzolis. So I think internally, Arsenal now see the left wing positions as designated to Tzolis and Emirates Eze. So that was quite interesting. For me, it looks like then Martinelli is going to be squeezed out. However, having said all of that, in terms of being squeezed out, there was space for Ethan Nwaneri, given the absence of Bruno Guimaraes. So you just have to laugh, by the way, Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, welcome to the Arsenal, right? I've spoken so much on this channel about Bruno being plug and play from day one. He can start the opening game of the season. You can sit down Rice. You can sit down Saka. He can just come in and do a job and allow space protection for Rice to reintegrate. And lo and behold, you can only laugh. Bruno's injured before the first match and Rice starts, as it all turns out anyway. I'm hoping it's not anything too serious. Arsenal have a decent break now. It's 9 days break between this match and then away to Villa Park next weekend. I think it's next Monday night, actually, Monday night UK time, Tuesday morning here. So I'll have to double check that. But a decent break now, so should hopefully allow Bruno to return to training, and let's go from there. But in terms of selection for this match, very strong lineup, all things considering, even knowing the absences of Saliba, Timber, and now Bruno as well. Martinelli squeezed out of the entire matchday squad, as I mentioned. It's still a strong lineup. I mean, Arsenal are just, I've been saying this repeatedly, what a time to be an Arsenal fan. We have just got strength throughout the squad. And Ezri Konsa unveiled before the match as well. Lovely scenes, him coming out of the tunnel to the applause of the Emirates Stadium crowd. That brought a big smile to my face. He will be, I would imagine he's going to be included in some shape or form next weekend. I doubt he starts, but he will likely be in the matchday squad. So there's decisions to make. I mean, there's only so many players you can fit into each matchday squad name. Some players are going to have to be squeezed out and missed, and it's the nature. It's how much Arsenal have leveled up now. And yes, we do have a bigger squad anyway. Need to trim that down regardless. But just looking across at the bench today, some of the players that didn't even get on that I thought may have. No minutes for Dowman, for example, Gyökeres. It's just a very, very strong squad, and we're blessed. We're absolutely blessed. Oh, what a beautiful time to be an Arsenal fan. So, onto the match itself. Strong lineup, as I mentioned: White, Mosquera, Gabriel, Calafiori. I think that back four picked itself more so out of necessity than anything else, as we've known. We're a bit spread thin on the right hand side, so that back four was almost predictable. In midfield, Rice started. I mean, I winced a little bit when I saw that name, because he's just someone that from the outside looking in, like, I want to make sure that we manage him well, but internally, like, I mean, you have no idea what will be happening inside. You probably got players like Rice and Saka who are banging down the manager's door wanting to play. I mean, that's probably the mentality they want to play, and sometimes you can only do so much if they're putting their hand up and say, "Hey, boss, play me," and they perform like that. I mean, you kind of have to keep supporting that. So Rice, Lewis Skelly, Odegaard in midfield. Thought Odegaard was magnificent. I'll come to him in a moment. And then Saka started as well, Havertz and Christos Tzolis at left wing, and what a performance he had as well. Even in the build-up to the match, one thing that was just so palpable in my earphones was just the noise from the stadium, just the energy in that stadium, the crowd, the atmosphere. It was awe-inspiring. If you were there tonight, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how it was. It just sounded magnificent. The chanting right from the get-go. The one thing that really got me was the "We know what we are" chant. We know what we are, champions of England. We know what we are. That was just magnificent. Of course, all the Arsenal songs were being belted out in unison. The performance from Arsenal from the get-go, we just looked a class above. Now, I think we all are grown up enough to know that against a promoted side, against Coventry, that they're not at the same level of Arsenal. We can say that with all due respect. However, you still have to go and do the job. You still have to go and take care of your business and put them away. Take nothing for granted in this league. This was a kind opening fixture, yes. However, from Coventry's point of view, I mean, if there was ever a time to cause an upset, it's in your opening match, right? Like the expectations on them would be so low. So they understandably should have been looking at this and saying, "Hey, we get to go to test ourselves against the champions. Let's try and nick something here." But Arsenal just snuffed that out very, very early. We were playing keepings off, passing the ball along very nicely. I thought just straight away that left-hand side, what I really noticed is that we've really got dual threat now. So often the last few seasons, Arsenal have been very right-sided heavy, especially with this trio of Odegaard, White and Saka. I mean, that's been a pinnacle of Arteta's resurgence for Arsenal the last few seasons. We haven't really seen much of it the last year or two because they've all, in their own individual way, have all suffered pretty significant injuries that have kept them out for varying lengths of time. So we haven't really seen that trio on that right. I would say the more dominant players on that side of the last year or two have been Timber, Madueke. Odegaard's been in and out of the team. Remember that spell where he had 3 consecutive halftime substitutions at the Emirates from injuries? So it's been very stop-start, very disjointed. But this was a real throwback, watching us on that right-hand side, White getting on the overlap. And then on the left-hand side, all of a sudden, I see a threat there. I see Calafiori and Tzolis combining really well. They've got excellent coordination with each other, stringing the ball left and right. There was one moment even where Tzolis managed to make his way all the way to the right-hand side. He got in behind the fullback and cut one back. So the very fluid system. I'm seeing threats everywhere. We're not just pigeonholed into that right-hand channel. We've got threats everywhere. And in fact, the opening goal came through that left-hand corridor. Nice interchange between Tzolis, Calafiori. Calafiori delivered a beautiful pinpoint pass into Havertz at the top of the box. And speaking of pinpoint, how's that finish? That was clinical from Kai Havertz. He's not really synonymous with that type of just drilled precision style finish. And he found the bottom corner, and it's 1-0 to the Arsenal. That was unsavable. Beautiful shot, beautiful goal. And I still don't understand why there's still such a question mark over Kai Havertz. And I guess the question mark is over his availability the last 12, 18 months, a number of significant injuries. But one thing Kai Havertz has surely proven now over the test of time is that when he has a consistent run of games in the team, when he has a consistent run of starts, he returns goals and assists. I mean, the stats surely speak for themselves. I believe that's his 5th goal now in his last 6 starts for Arsenal. He's a big-time player as well. Scored in the Champions League final, scored the winning goal against Burnley in the last Premier League home match for Arsenal late last season, which, as it turned out, that was the goal that 24 hours later helped seal us the title. I mean, he returns goals, and he's just a player who just elevates everyone around him. Our system looks better around him, and he's really integral to what we do or don't do this season. I think it's largely going to be predicated on how much football we can get out of players such as Havertz, such as Odegaard, such as Saka. They're so critical to our forward unit that we barely saw that for a consistent run last season. I don't think there were many starts that those players had together, those 3 or 4 key integral players for Arsenal. I don't know how many they started, but I wouldn't be surprised if I could count them on one hand. And then right on cue after his goal, Waka Waka sung around the Emirates Stadium. I was whispering it in bed as well. I fully admit I was grinning like the Cheshire Cat. I absolutely loved it. So that was, I think it was 14 minutes in, I think it was. Just trying to remember the timings. Not long after we got our second. This one again from the left-hand corridor. It came from some good work from Tzolis. Some interchange there. He's taken the shot. Not the greatest goalkeeping. I know it must be said. I'll just get that part out of the way. However, so much forward instinct is about being in the right spot at the right time and being in that danger zone to pouch. And Saka was there to tuck it home. Quite similar goal, actually, now that I think about it, to the goal he scored against Atletico Madrid, and how blessed me and my family were to be there. We were right behind the goal as he scored that goal, his only goal of that night, when Oblak saved from Trossard's shot coming in on the inside left-hand corridor, and he saved it into the path of Saka, who just tucked it home. And similar goal here today. The Coventry goalkeeper, look, I would say in general, I don't know too much about Coventry. I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. I'm much more insular focused on Arsenal. I don't know too much about other clubs. Aside to say that I thought the goalkeeper looked nervous. He started off quite well, actually. I will say there was one aerial ball where he just gobbled it. He grabbed it with real confidence and clean hands, strong hands. I thought, wow, that's a fantastic take. And he was straight out and distributed. He had a few nervous moments after that. I don't think that was great goalkeeping on the Saka one, because as we know, if you're gonna get a hand down to it, you need a strong hand. Tuck it away around the corner, just get it out that danger zone, but not to be. It went into the pathway of Saka, and 2-0 to Arsenal. And I think on the balance of play, we absolutely deserved it. I thought Odegaard was running the show. He was like the puppet master, just stringing together the entire thread of Arsenal from forward to back. He just looks different. I've had this feeling growing in me since watching him at the World Cup that this is a player who's just recaptured. He's recaptured his fitness. He seems to have got that engine back. He's so integral with coordinating the press and coordinating the entire system. This is not just for Arsenal, by the way. Listen to his Norwegian teammates, his coach, talk to him about the World Cup, even opposition players. I remember when they knocked out Brazil, the way Ancelotti, even Vinny Jr. were referring to Odegaard, that they just couldn't get through him. Brazil were trying to come through. They were trying to play out through the press, but they just couldn't get past Odegaard. He was 2 moves ahead. He saw the passes before they happened. He had that football IQ, and he would just coordinate his teammates to set up in a way where Brazil was suffocated. And similar here to Arsenal, he just knows the game so well. He reads it so well. We've known for a while that he's Arteta's on-field coach. Now I feel he's elevated even beyond that. Like, he's just got full read from front to back of our team. And it's such a blessing to have him like this. And I'm touching wood again, because the players that I'm referring to, that I'm serenading here, we know how important they are for Arsenal, and we know how irreplaceable they are too. If there's another injury or a setback to the likes of Odegaard or Saka or Havertz, we go from an elite team. We don't tumble all the way down, of course, but there's a fine line between being a very good, excellent team and an elite team, which is what we are. And that's what sort of brings about some of the nervousness that we saw late last season and grinding out 1-goal wins and 1-0 to the Arsenal wins. This is different, though. When you've got that caliber of players on the pitch, been able to do what we do, that aura about them, especially now that we've done it, we've climbed the mountain, we are Premier League champions. Now is the time to put the foot on the throat, press forward, and get the second goal, get the third goal, kill the game off, kill the match off. And that should be our focus this season. And so far, I mean, this is what we're demonstrating, right? The players are absolutely delivering what we wanting them to do. And in fact, something very similar as well to the Shield, to the Community Shield last week, is that Odegaard's goal, which was our third goal today and was also our third goal in the Community Shield, came on around the 47, 48-minute mark to ice the game 3-0. I mean, how often, what a blessing for Arsenal, right? How often have we been 3-0 up after 45, 50 minutes and then just been able to change the entire dynamics of how we see the game out? I mean, aside from that Fulham game a few months back, that was our first ever Arsenal game live to be at the Emirates. What a blessing that was. And Arsenal scored the third goal right on the stroke of half time. And it changes everything because you knock the stuffing out of the opposition. You change the entire dynamic and you can then control the game. You can use your bench. You can rotate and rest players, take players off. Saka and Rice came off after about 65, 66 minutes today. And what an absolute blessing that is. And just even look at the caliber of players that we can bring on. Saka and Rice come on, we're bringing on Zubimendi and Madueke. And then later on, I think the next round of substitutions were Odegaard and Tzolis. And we're bringing on Eza and Marino, World Cup winner. I mean, it's just like, what a time to be alive. What an absolute blessing for Arsenal. Our final sub was then, Hincapié for Calafiori. Again, another key important player who you have to manage minutes by. You don't want to burden them and crush them under the workload. Not on the first game, not on the opening day of the season as well. We know when we get to September, October, November, and there's 3 games every week over Christmas period, we need to have them fit and firing for that. So using the squad as much as possible now, that's going to be the difference, I feel, this season for Arsenal. Odegaard deservedly got a goal. It may not have been his cleanest shot ever. Again, I don't think it was great goalkeeping. He kind of was on his right foot, right? He kind of did he trip over his feet, or did the ball from his right foot then knock into his left boot? I don't quite know, but it didn't look a clean strike. Certainly not the clean ball striking that is synonymous with Odegaard over the years. He looked a bit sheepish as well in wheeling away in celebration. As I said, you take the mistakes when they happen, right? It wasn't great goalkeeping, but on the balance of play, can we really question, did Arsenal deserve the second goal? Did Arsenal deserve the third goal? Absolutely not. We were on the balance of the match. We were good for it. It was going to come one way or another, I felt. And Odegaard got the goal. It was from a White assist, actually. Yep, White on that overlap, getting in behind the fullback, running right up to the byline. That's a sight to behold. And it just speaks to just the varying levels of threat that we've got. Each fullback is different. White offers a different threat to Timber, and Hincapié offers a different threat to Calafiori. And Tzolis and Eza are not like for like. So we've just got real good combinations that just keep the opposition on their toes. You never quite know what to expect. Even from an Arsenal fan point, we don't quite know what we're going to do. So some of the set play routines, some of those corner routines, we didn't come off necessarily today, but the way we were able to work the ball from a short corner, then to get a shot away on the edge of the box. I mean, I'm watching this from afar thinking that we shouldn't be allowed to do that. Like, surely from an opposition viewpoint, in the Premier League, it's so unrelenting. Our teams are so well coached and so well prepared. They watch hours and hours of footage and got so many tactical coaches and data analysts who prepare them for that. So I'm thinking to myself, surely Premier League teams are not going to allow us to take shots from the top of the box. But because of our routines, the way we can just combine bang, 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 2-3 passes in, and then we found space to take a shot. It shouldn't be happening, but we make it happen. That's a testament to Arsenal. So I've spoken about Odegaard. I've spoken about Havertz. I also want to spend just a couple of moments each talking about a few individual players in no particular order. Christos Tzolis, I thought he was outstanding. I've said many times throughout the last few preseason games that he looks like he's been at Arsenal for a lot longer than he had. Incredible value as well in this crazy market where just yesterday I was reading how is the Manchester City player, what's his name? Savinho, that's it. Savinho, how is he going for £75 million or £80 million, whatever it is? It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now he's got 2 Premier League goals in his entire career, by the way. Like, how is How is that justifiable? But aside from that, the point I'm trying to make is Tzolis. All of a sudden, you just look like someone who belongs in the system. He didn't get a goal or assist necessarily today, but it's going to come, right? He had that excellent strike from outside the box as well. Clean ball striking. That was well saved by Coventry's goalkeeper, so I'll give him his credit there. And he just looks incredible value for his caliber of play. He looks Premier League ready to me. And £35 million, I think Arsenal have done some really savvy business here. And over the course of the season, I think we'll be looking back on this as one of the better money for value transfers across the football industry this summer. Lewis Skelly, how pleased I was to hear Arteta finally unequivocally say that 100% he will be an Arsenal player this season after the transfer window. I was so pleased to hear that because Arteta's had a couple of moments that over the last few press conferences where he could have come out with something a little bit more convincing than some of the, the open to interpretation dialogue that we've heard. But it was put to him and he just categorically refuted it and said 100% he's our player. And Lewis Skelly, he showed why. He's got a really uncanny ability to protect the ball. And when players bounce off him, they kind of balloon off him too. Like he's very strongly built, very physically robust. He's built for this league. He's got a great recovery as well. A couple of times where the ball just slipped his feet, just stepped away from him, but he got right back. The second duel, the third duel, we know how much Arteta loves that. And you see, it would be mad to sell him. I'm so glad that we can shut the door on that now. I'll even stop talking about it now. Thankfully, because it's been bothering me the last few weeks as well, bothering me having that hovering over our heads. But Lewis Skelly has shown why he's just so integral to Arsenal. When Zubimendi came on as well, they both showed they can play together. This is not necessarily one or the other. We don't have to be just having these debates that is Lewis Skelly better than Zubimendi, and where's Zubimendi going to play? Is it going to be Rice or Guimaraes? Which one of them is going to miss out? We don't need to be so binary because they're showing that in different combinations, different game states, that we can combine with each other. Of course, it's helped by the fact that we're 3-0 ahead. So, of course, noting the game state, but we made that happen as well. Remember, like when we go and take care of business, score that second or third goal, you allow yourselves to rotate and to try different combinations. And even though Lewis Skelly wasn't playing as a traditional 6, I don't think that will be part of the plan if the score was 0-0. Like he wouldn't be a traditional 6 from the opening kickoff, for example. But when we're 3-0 ahead and the ball's largely being played in our half, then you can do that. You can make those tweaks. Mikel Merino can come on. And how good is Mikel Merino, by the way? He just comes in and does his thing. May not have end product to show for it, but the way that he's able to still get that shot, that shot I'm referring to when the ball came into him, his back's towards goal. He's got 2 or 3 defenders around him right on the edge of the box, and he still manages to get a shot away that was going in. He made the goalkeeper work, and I tip my hat. This is a very intelligent footballer. I really do think that in certain game states as well, him up forward as a centre forward or as a false 9, I think that's something that's we're going to see this season because he can unlock something out of nowhere too. Lastly, I thought the defenders handled this match very, very well. The couple of moments that Coventry had, there was that one moment for who's the young man? Jaden Silva, I think he was. He had an excellent sprint, just coasted through. I don't know why we didn't. He was unchecked, unchallenged. He shouldn't have been allowed to get in as close as he did. But Mosquera stepped in to snuff out the danger. Thought Mosquera was very good. Their centre forward, a boy. He's a big boy. That guy, Awiniyi, I think his name is. I'm sorry if I've butchered that, by the way. My apologies if I've got his pronunciation wrong. Gabriel handled him otherwise. Gabriel had one moment where, he was trying to do his best to plead with the referee not to give away a yellow card. But to me, it's absolutely a yellow card. He was just done on the turn and tugged him back enough, just outside the box. Thankfully, it wasn't a penalty. But otherwise, I think we got through this pretty well. Raya didn't have too much to do really in goal. And all in all, if you were to ask for, in terms of ticking all the boxes from an opening match, an opening night of the Premier League season, I think we ticked them all. There's not too many complaints here. We bossed the game, deserved the win. 3 goals, clean sheet, 3 points. And now we just get to sit back and just watch the others over the weekend. So it's certainly put a spring in my step for today. I'm going to bring this one to a close. And thank you so much for watching and listening as always. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow the show on your audio platform. I'd be so grateful if you can leave me a review, please. It really helps boost visibility, engagement for the channel. Leave me any feedback, any comments. I would love to hear from all of you, and have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Enjoy the fact that the Premier League champions just opened up our campaign with a resounding victory like this. I'll talk to you all again soon. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the weekend, and come on, Arsenal.